Now, timing the property market perfectly is nearly impossible. But with interest rates dropping and activity stirring, feels like buyers could be in a bit of a sweet spot. According to a report from the Australian Property Investor magazine, nearly a third of investors intend to buy a home this year, with many selling in New South Wales to capitalise on the higher values and buying in more affordable Queensland and even Victoria. But which suburbs are going to outperform the others and deliver you the most capital growth? With her hotspot predictions from around the country, Nerida Conisbee, the chief economist of Ray Whit, has been polishing her crystal ball. Nerida, you've done the numbers. First of all, what are some of the options you're seeing in the housing market?
So the housing market, we're definitely seeing a lot of themes that are quite consistent across the country. It's a lot of outer suburban areas. So if you go to somewhere like Victoria, you're heading out to the Mornington Peninsula, Sydney, Central Coast. So the Entrance, for example, is an area that we have seen significant growth over a very short time period. And then heading to WA and to Perth, it's places like Mandurah that we are seeing, suburbs in Mandurah that are doing really, really well. So very, very consistent when we have a look across each capital city.
Okay, so there really are some good themes there, aren't they? Even for those over $1 million, which in some states it's, a lot of most areas are over $1 million, there's still growth.
There is still growth, but they are getting quite expensive. So if you have a look at an area like Logan at the moment, prior to the pandemic, you could buy in Logan in Brisbane very, very cheaply, but now pricing is starting to kick over that $1 million mark. Apartments, though, they're still quite affordable, or townhouses.
I was going to ask about apartments because there's a big gap between, or bigger than traditional, between house growth and unit growth. Is that units likely to catch up? And whereabouts?
Definitely we're seeing, in places we're not seeing much development taking place, we're definitely seeing apartment price growth outpacing house price growth. So to give you an example, places like Perth, Adelaide, Brisbane, we're quite unusually seeing apartment growth faster than what we're seeing for house price growth. So probably won't continue. The big challenge at the moment, it's very difficult to get apartment projects up and running because of construction costs. So as a result, prices do seem to be outperforming at this point.
Yeah. Now, for a lot of people, we just look at capital growth, don't we, with property, but there is that income side, the rental side, which for a lot of investors, getting that regular income stream coming in is really important. What are the areas where there could be good rental yield?
There's some really good rental yields still in Perth. So Perth has been seeing a very, very strong price growth. It's running at about 10% per annum, but we have also seen strong growth in rents. So the yields are still looking much more positive than what we're seeing in Sydney and Melbourne. Brisbane's quite similar, also Adelaide. Adelaide's been an incredibly strong market over the past 5 years. And it's not just prices, it's also rent. So as a result, yields are remaining pretty high.
What else is feeding in to property values? What should you be looking for in terms of choosing a property?
I think it's always a lot around what you would like to live in. So maybe not you as, where you are now if you're a bit older, but, when you were younger, an area that you would quite like to be in. But then also just looking at economic change that's happening. So a city like Adelaide, we have seen a lot of population growth happening there. The economy is doing really well. The Premier has been very good at attracting a lot of investment. And as a result, conditions have been super, super strong. Go up to southeast Queensland and there's huge movement up to that part of Australia. So that's also made quite a difference to house prices.
Access to transport or proximity to transport, is that still important? And, I've got adult kids with young children. Can't believe being in certain catchment areas for particular schools adds to property value as well.
Absolutely. When you have a look at places people want to be, they want them to be walkable. They like a really good local shopping centre. If you've got a family, being close to a really good school is important. Then we've also seen some really strong long-term trends around being near water. So if you have a look around Australia, the suburbs that have done really well over the past decade do tend to be near a beach or a river or some sort of waterway. So there's definite trends around suburb level, what people are looking for.
Nerida, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.